This lesson is about percents. So the goal is to convert between fractions, decimals, and percents. So what is a percent? Well, the word percent means, well, it's out of 100, per 100, it's out of 100. So 34% means 34 out of 100. So let's look at trying to turn some fractions into percent. So determine each percent. If you have 14 out of 100, this represents 14%. If we have 12 out of 50, well, what is that out of 100? Well, this is equal to 24 out of 100. If I just multiply the top and the bottom by 2. So 24 out of 100 is 24%. 4 out of 7. Similarly, if you do this, it's going to be 57.14%. And you can have decimals as well as part of your percentage. And in this case, I'd simply just round it to decimal places. And then 15 out of 30 is equivalent to saying 50 out of 100, if you which is 50%. Okay, another way of thinking about it is, well, 15 is just half of 30, so 50%. Express each percent as a decimal. Okay, so again, same idea. Now we're going to go backwards. What is 14% out of 100? Well, it's just 14 out of 100. And if I express this as a decimal, it is 0.14. Okay, easiest way to turn any percentage to a decimal is if you took the number and you write up a decimal point. So if it's 14%, like 14.0. And then you just move the decimal place 2 spots to the left, then you'll get your decimal. So 14% would be 0.14 or 0.14. Same idea, if you had 36, use your decimal, move it 2 spots to the left, and then your response will be 0.36. And for 2%, again, keep in mind it's just a single digit now, so you move it 1, put a 0 in there, move it twice, and so it's going to be 0.02 as my decimal. Okay, determine each amount, 50% of 50. So when you see the word of refers to, so of equals multiplication. Okay, so if I see 50% of 50, I'm going to take the decimal. So whenever we do these calculations of percentages, you can't use the percentage, you have to use the decimal. So 50% is the same thing as saying 0.5. You take that decimal and you multiply by 50, because of means multiply. So 0.5 times 50 is equal to 25. Next one, 12% of 20. So again, decimal first, so 0.12 multiplied by 20, because of means multiply, and that's 2.4. And 95% of 45, so I take my decimal, 0.95, multiplied by 45, and that's equal to 42.75. Okay, so now let's try and complete the following table. I'm given the fraction, let's convert it to a decimal, and then let's convert it to a percent. So if you take your calculator, you do 12 divided by 25, you're going to get 0.48. And don't forget, it's a negative, so put the negative in front. And as a percentage, if you're going from a decimal to percent, this time you just move the decimal place back to the right. So 1, 2 to get your percentage. It's going to be 48%. Okay, doing the next one, well, 2.95. Move the decimal place 2 spots to the right, you're going to get this really big percentage, 295%. And you're allowed to have percentages greater than 100. That's fine. And if I convert this back to a fraction, if you remember back in one of our earlier lessons, we said you could use this button on your calculator, A over BC, and that can help you. Or you can just write your decimal. You can write your percentage out of 100, so it's just going to be 295 out of 100 over 100. Okay, and in reduced form, that's 59 over 20 if you divide the top and the bottom by 5. Percentage back to a decimal, so again, divide by 100, so 0.63. I'll move the decimal place 2 points to the left. And as a fraction, the percentage is always out of 100, so 63 out of 100, which is my fraction. Okay. Decimal point 0.015. So again, move the decimal space 1, 2 to the right, and you'll get your percentage, so 1.5%. And a fraction out of 100, well, it's we don't. If I have to say 1.5 out of 100, it's not really good form to have a decimal up there. So I'm going to just multiply the top and the bottom by 10, and I'll get 15 out of 1,000. Okay, and I'm going to reduce that back down again. If I divide the top and bottom by 5, I will get 3 out of 200. Okay. Again, so now back again to mixed numbers. We don't like mixed numbers. We don't want that whole number and fraction. We want to convert it to an improper fraction. So 2 times 8 is 16, plus 5 is 21, and the denominator is 8. So my improper fraction is 21 over 8. As a decimal, if you do this in the calculator, 21 over 8, you'll get 2.625. Okay, you can also get 2.635 by saying that there's 2 here, and then you find the decimal portion of 5 out of 8, which would be 0.625. And then as a percentage, again, move the decimal place 1, 2 spots to the right, and you'll get your percentage 262.5%. Okay. And 0.04%, so move the decimal place 2 spots back to the left, so you get a really even smaller decimal, so 0.0004. And as a percentage, or as a fraction rather, I can express this as well. If it's 0.04 out of 100, and this is bad form, so I'm going to just multiply the top and the bottom by 100 this time, or by 100. So the top becomes 4, and the bottom becomes 10,000. And it turns out that I can reduce this by dividing the top and bottom by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 10,000 divided by 4 is 2,500. Okay. So the rest of the sheet is just for you to do some practice converting from matching a decimal with its equivalent